You messed up by supporting Hamas. Imagine that. Nazis are equal to Hamas, bro. Imagine saying you're a journalist when you don't remain neutral like a true journalist is supposed to be. Remember, Nazis hated Jews. You can't claim that others are Nazis when you're acting like them, spreading misinformation like you do all the time. We have videos of it, idiot. I've never seen such a terrorist glazer in my life. You're the only reason why Twitch can't be removed from the U.S. And you're the reason why Twitch can be removed from the United States and have their company terminated. Why do Israel defenders just hallucinate so many different fucking things at the same time? Are you okay? Are you all right, brother? The Dumpster King 101. Are you okay? Does it crypto Trump? Fuck you and I'm Muslim, bitch. What the fuck is this guy saying? Okay. Number one. Israel, both in its fundamental association with a ethno-religious supremacist ideology that is exterminationist in principle, is closer to the Nazi regime than many other contemporary civilizations. So saying that Israel is a Nazi country is not far-fetched at all. I think there is value in Mad I'm Palestine. It's cryo, not crypto. Cryo Trump? Not crypto, dumbass, learn to read. Oh, I thought you just wrote a typo. So that's number one. Israel is a Nazi country. Israel is doing Nazi-style exterminationist policies. Israel's doing a genocide. And secondly, Israel is a cryo-Trump every 4 years. What? Okay. Israel also is far worse than Hamas. The Israeli occupying force is a far worse, far more violent, far more successfully violent genocidal institution than Hamas ever was or ever could be. Okay? Just putting that out there. Israel is worse than Hamas. Israel has done multiple October 7s pretty much every week since October 7. There's no way to make sense of that. The only way that you don't recognize that reality is if you simply just don't think that Palestinians are human beings. It isn't, since you don't seem to understand history, you're supporting a terrorist group that sang about a child's mother death on a cartoon show praising her ending herself. What are you talking about? Israel has killed every fucking cartoonist in Gaza. Virtually. Israel's killed multiple mothers, thousands of mothers in Gaza. Tens of thousands of children in Gaza. What the fuck are you talking about? A cartoon? What are you saying right now? Anyway, seems like your mental illness is not going to get better, but they haven't, because Hamas ran that fucking show, idiot. Dude, you're talking about a show. I'm talking about what Israel has done since October 7. Before October 7 as well, but especially since October 7. If your reaction to Israel's genocide is, but they made a cartoon one time, you're too stupid to have a conversation with. Just letting you know. You mad or not? Your October 7 facts are lies because I was there, idiot. What? You were at October 7? What were you doing? Dancing on the rooftops? What the fuck were you doing? You said you were a Muslim and there at October 7? What's happening here? He's like, I was in Hamas. I was in Hamas, and I learned that Hamas is terrorist. Anyway, let's keep going.
Not capable of debating this historian, but I'm going to just tell you what I think.
Bro, take your medication, Dumpster King. Take your medication. You're hallucinating.
We spent the last year speaking.
Dude, what do you mean? That's what you do. That's your whole career. Like, I'm sorry. It's not like Douglas Murray is a qualified actor here either. The fuck? His qualifications are what? Instead of me chirping on Twitter, he writes for like The Spectator. You know what I mean? Like, there's no... The fuck do you mean? Who has any qualifications? I would go so far as to say that at least Douglas Murray is an Israeli asset. He even received an award from the Israeli President Isaac Herzog for propaganda services in the midst of the Gaza genocide. It's an extraordinary privilege for me to align with the state of Israel, gushed Murray at the president's residence. I can't even find his old writing anymore, where I feel like he's written shit about Jews too. Like, am I making this up? And no, I'm not. I'm not mistaking him with Charles Murray, who wrote the IQ thing. Like, I'm pretty sure he wrote. I used to pull up his older work all the time in the beginning. I'm not talking about the bell curve guy. That's Charles Murray. Douglas Murray absolutely wrote. No, not a year ago. I'm saying multiple years ago. Like, before the post October 7. Post October 7, he's become like the number one defender of Israel. Even on October 2023, he said, yeah, the Nazis weren't as evil for doing the Holocaust as Hamas was for October 7. Douglas Murray is a Nazi, and top alt-right, alt-centrist Labour Party bureaucrats are huge fans of him and spread his Nazi filth internally as they were masquerading as anti-racist by smearing Corbyn and the left as anti-Semites. The level of depravity is unimaginable. A staff member of Labour's policy unit shared a clip of right-wing Islamophobic commentator Douglas Murray on BBC Daily Policy saying that all the political parties were refusing to confront the reality of terrorism comes from the religion of Islam. So he's a massive Islamophobe, yes. He's always been a massive Islamophobe. The author of The Strange Death of Europe, Douglas Murray, spoke about the European elites and the Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, writing an article in the Hungary Journal, or the Hungary Journal wrote about his statements on Orban. Translate this to English. German newspaper Taz covered it. Douglas Murray had just begun to explain the difference between Hamas and the Nazis when a rocket flew over his head. After recovering, the British journalist was lifted off into the Israeli night. At conclusion of his TV interview with Piers Morgan, delivering a historical treatise that could cause worldwide sensation. The Nazis were actually ashamed of our actions, he claimed. SS battalions that spent all day shooting Jews in the back of the head and shoveling them in the pits had to get heavily drunk in the evenings to forget. Hamas fighters, however, who massacred Jews in Israel on October 7, proudly called their parents in Gaza afterwards. I'm not exaggerating. It's very interesting, and people need to understand that. There was the situation with the Nazis, who were also a genocidal anti-Semitic organization, but they tried to hide their crimes. Hamas was actually proud of it. That's what he said. Were the Nazis not so bad after all? Several German public figures called this interview magnificent. He literally fucking said that Nazis that carried out the Holocaust were better than Hamas. Anyway, but that's not even what I'm talking about. I feel like he's written extensively on this stuff. Yeah, is Marine Le Pen really far right? By smearing all opponents as fascists, the left blurs the line between democracy and thuggery. Speaker at National Conservatism Conference accused of downplaying Holocaust after saying Germany mucked up. Douglas Murray said that people shouldn't be stopped from loving their country because the Germans mucked up twice. Prominent public intellectual Douglas Murray is facing criticism over comments he made at the National Conservatism Conference, which critics say downplayed the Holocaust and Nazism. Murray said there was nothing wrong with nationalism in Britain. It's just that there was something wrong with nationalism in Germany. I don't see why no one should be allowed to love their country because the Germans mucked up twice in a century. His comments have stoked controversy. There was absolutely something wrong with nationalism in the UK as well, by the way. It quite literally is the same kind of nationalism. Anyway. The fact that he's pro-Nazi makes him more aligned with Israel. I agree. Oh, this was the article I was looking for. Thank you. Thank you. So the Spectator deleted it since he became a fucking mouthpiece for Israel. This is what I was looking for. Is now a good time to talk about Jews and money? The Jewish Museum in London thinks so. Perhaps is right. Motifs of Jewish financial chicanery have never really gone away or back. The internet age has allowed memes about the Rothschilds, ruthless financiers, thinly veiled, claims of Jewish duplicity to thrive as they haven't for several generations. The film at the start of the exhibition in a museum in Camden gives some context. As the exhibition states, throughout history, there have been rich Jews and poor Jews. The claim that money essential to Jewish life plagued Jewish people for at least 2 millennia. Okay, maybe he's actually shitting on anti-Semitism in this article. I feel like I remember him saying anti-Semitic shit, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he was also, he's just like a racist, nationalist, Islamophobic person who isn't anti-Semitic. You can't call everything Nazi or you're never going to win again because it seems irrational, normal people. Do you know how many... Wait, but they aren't doing the Holocaust, so how is it the same? He's not pro-Nazi. 18-month subscriber, I'm sorry. If you fucking try to defend Douglas Murray and in defense of Israel and then fucking try to claim that Israel is not engaging in the same exact exterminationist, ethno-religious supremacist principles, you might also be a fucking Nazi yourself, okay? Sorry, sucks to suck. But they aren't doing the Holocaust. Is not a good example. Is not a good counterexample. Yeah, they're not literally fucking putting every Palestinian in a concentration camp and then killing them in fucking gas chambers. So I guess it's not literally the Holocaust. What is there any reason to learn about the Holocaust then? Is there any reason to learn about the Holocaust then? Why have countless scholars, many of them who are also anti-Israel, mind you, even Israeli Jewish scholars of the Holocaust and genocide, why have they poured countless hours into understanding how this could have happened if dumb fucks like you just go, well, it's not a one-to-one comparison. It is a Holocaust. Shut the fuck up. Sorry, Ross Segal, famous Israeli Jewish Holocaust scholar Ross Segal. I guess your assessment is negligible because fucking Foster DBZ noticed that it wasn't a one-to-one comparison. Excuse me, are they Sig Heiling? Excuse me, his name is Benjamin Netanyahu. It's not Adolf Hitler. It can't be the Holocaust. It's a singular event. Nothing can ever be compared to it. No, don't you do it. No, never again means just never again. It can never happen again because it happened one time and that's it. Never again. Thank you. Thank you for the fucking brilliant perspective, dude. I had no idea. Cast aside countless fucking hours of historical scholarly research because this fucking chatter decided it's not a one-to-one comparison. There's no need to actually even litigate genocide. Someone alert the authorities. Why is the International Court of Justice and the International Criminal Court even prosecuting these guys for war crimes? Why is the International Court of Justice even entertaining the notion that Israel could ever do a genocide? They haven't completed it yet. Why do we even have intentionality as a marker for genocide? It's all about how you feel afterwards. It's all about land acknowledgements. It's not real fascism until it's from the fascism region of Italy in the 1930s. Thank you. Just having a discussion. View-we, my bad. Yeah, you're a fucking moron, dude. I'm sorry. It's not a fucking discussion. You're just an absolute moron. If the discussion around this is, well, you can't fucking say it's the Holocaust. Israel is Jewish. And the Nazis killed Jews, so it's not the same. I'm the dumbest baby on the planet. Like, shut the fuck up. Dumb fuck. 18-month subscriber. You should fucking know better, stupid. That's why I'm so angry. When I see someone who's an 18-month subscriber who fucking comes in with this kind of idiotic shit, it's different than a gray name. It's like, I failed. I failed in spectacular fashion. That you could be so devoid of critical thinking here. Why are you so mean to your supporters? Give them a year off. Give me a decade off. What, Lamau? Because, well, first of all, you're a 1-month subscriber. And there's an opportunity for you to learn shit in here. Okay? But if you're in here for 17 extra months as a subscriber and you're still making the dumbest fucking argument, then yeah, it's something that breaks me a little bit, you know? It means you've been in here for long enough that you should have probably fucking accidentally learned a thing or two. You're literally saying genocide. Also, you're saying, why are you so mad at a dude who's been in here for 18 months and is still like doing genocide apologia? It is absolutely appropriate to compare Israel as a nation state to the Nazis. It is absolutely appropriate to compare Zionism, the underpinning exterminationist, ethno-religious supremacist ideology that has created the nation state of Israel on indigenous land that it occupies illegally and kills a bunch of the indigenous population of, as the fascist guiding motivator that is akin to the same exact exterminationist policies of the fucking Nazis. It's a fascist ideology, just like Nazism was a fascist ideology built around also ethno-supremacist values that revolved around exterminating people that it considered to be lesser than. Anyway, the fuck are we doing? Yeah, look at this. No one is doing more to make the Star of David the new swastika than Israel. I have to wonder what the fuck is even going on in your mind that this is your top priority now. But even if it is, Israel's more culpable here than any single person on Twitter you dislike. This person goes, same people who say that the Star of David has become the new swastika. Look at this. They carved a 6-pointer star on his head during imprisonment. You can see it. The liberated prisoner Musab Katawi from Kalkilia. Like, what is this? What the fuck is this shit? You know what I mean? What are you supposed to do with this? What are you supposed to do with this? A fucking fascist exterminationist Nazi government is using cultural landmarks and religious symbols in their exterminationist and ethno-supremacist fascist administration. What are we supposed to do? Look aside when this kind of atrocity happens and be like, no, dude, I'm going to offend the sensibilities of people who want to defend the fucking apartheid state. You could suck my cock, you know? This is especially dangerous and especially disgusting if you're Jewish. What do you mean? That's why I make the comparison, not just the Nazis, but ISIS all the time. It's like if Muslims living in the Western world were constantly talking about how ISIS is awesome and it's really fucked up and Islamophobic to criticize ISIS. Like, there's obviously no comparison you can make to that. Especially because that was the lie that the same institutions that are positively associating Israel with Judaism, those very same institutions, as a defense mechanism, by the way, are literally the ones who lied and tried to negatively associate ISIS with the entirety of the Muslim population around the planet in an effort to justify the war on terror. Not comparable. Muslims globally denounced ISIS. No, I know it's... Yes, and also ISIS's primary victims were Muslims. My point isn't... oh, my God. My point is the negative association was falsely done, a false conflation by mainstream media in an effort to fucking justify the war on terror was done between Muslims despite their global denouncement of ISIS for understandable fucking reasons. Meanwhile, that very same media mechanism is making a positive association, again, that is a false conflation, but a positive association in the news between Judaism and Israel, even though Israel is doing a fuck ton of ISIS shit. It blows my goddamn mind. I don't know if this is real. Why take a picture of this? Come on, chatter. 18 months, 76 years, but especially 18 months of this. You're really shocked? First of all, the picture was most likely taken by his family. That's number one. Number two, are you actually shocked if the Israeli authorities took this photo? Which they probably didn't, because this is a released prisoner at this point, a released hostage, a released Palestinian hostage from Israeli prisons. But would it be that shocking to you if an Israeli soldier actually took this photo after he carved it? It's been 18 months, man. Yeah, here, there's another one. Israeli police branded Star of David onto Palestinian's face. Judge refers incident involving 16 officers to internal affairs after no reasonable explanation given for lack of video evidence. This is from before October 7, from the 22nd of August in 2023, by the way. Just so you understand. They didn't just stop at this either. They fucking branded the Star of David on what they had turned into rubble, basically, like areas that used to have apartments, and then take aerial photos of it because they're so fucking proud of it. They put up menorahs in the middle of the fucking Gaza Strip. They posted banners of Chabad in the middle of the Gaza Strip in all the buildings that they've fucking defiled and desecrated and destroyed. This is very much a positive association that Israeli Jews have with Judaism. They brand everyone and all of their actions as though it is for Judaism across the board. It is a horrifying thing that they do. Also, retaliation against these sorts of atrocious behaviors would not be branded as terrorism, but doing this as a state is terrorism. There are a million examples of this, by the way. Yeah, Israel turning the Star of David into a symbol of genocide, racism, and hate, engraving it on the head of a Palestinian hostage, a pregnant woman's stomach, branding it on the face of a young man, drawing it with tanks over a wiped out city. Oh, it's not the pregnant woman. It's the back of a detainee. Sorry. What are banners of Chabad? It's just like different brigades of the Israeli occupying force would post banners of Chabad in the middle of fucking Gaza when they initially started their land invasion. What? All right. Oh, he was joking. Yo, my bad, bro. Because it wasn't directed towards Jocko Willink, as a matter of fact. It was randomly tweeted out, if I recall correctly, and then also defended on the Tucker Carlson broadcast. I mean, look, the Daryl guy is, he is perhaps a little bit too sympathetic to young Adolf, a misunderstood guy by his own words. Who just, made a sequence of mistakes. But also on top of that, he engages in far too much historical revisionism, or just like simply doesn't understand history and makes a lot of mistakes while he's talking about young Adolf. Okay? And when you do all of those things, in unison, it comes across like you maybe like young Adolf a little bit. You might be a little fan of young Adolf. Okay, that's
actions. The war escalated. He's not.
Yeah, Daryl, who famously on Joe Rogan said Adolf is the kind of guy you can go fishing with, or something like that. Yeah, is he the guy who said Hitler had to deal with the Jew problem? Yeah, he did. He did say that. Oh my God, he said that on Tucker Carlson. That was so insane. Now, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, he basically assumed the position of the Nazi government at the time as a valid position, that like Jews were a problem. It's just that like Hitler was going about it the wrong way, kind of, or he just had no other options but to kill them, because it would be more humane than to let them continue starving. And it's like, okay, but the starting point is that Jews are a problem, and they're not. So what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that's an insane statement to make in and of itself, right? Anyway, this is precisely the reason why I think like Douglas Murray is the worst possible person to talk about this. But also, there is a valid critique here against Joe Rogan to have guys like this on. You can have convos. I don't give a shit. You can have convos with anyone you want. But like, the reality of the matter is, if you have your own personal opinions, if you think like anti-Semitism is unacceptable, for example, if you think that racism is unacceptable, for example, and then you have a dude who is maybe anti-Semitic, and you are not equipped enough to deal with it as the largest podcaster on the fucking planet, well, then you're being a little irresponsible with your platform. Obviously, Joe Rogan is going to tell you, who the fuck are you to tell me I can't be responsible with my platform? And there's not much you can say to that. You know what I mean? Especially not much even Douglas Murray can say to that. Why? Because Douglas Murray is supposed to be a free speech warrior. But of course, as many free speech warriors are, he fucking hates free speech when it comes to criticizing little old Israel. You can't believe Benjamin Netanyahu. You can't believe him because it makes my argument look unsustainable. How dare you, sir? Why would you believe Benjamin Netanyahu? He did. He literally fucking said that. He said, we can always deal with Hamas. The deliberate reasons as to why Israel played a formative role in propping up Hamas was because they made a somewhat correct prediction, and a very incorrect one. But the correct prediction that they made was that, well, these guys are fucking Islamist fundamentalists, and they will never be able to get broad support from the Western world in the same way that like a guy like Ghassan Kanafani could, because he was a fucking author and also Christian. They assassinated all of the secular socialist leadership of the Palestinian resistance, and they basically propped up the Islamist fundamentalist one, assuming that the Islamist fundamentalist group would never actually modify their position or moderate their position ever, right? Which they did. Hamas literally did do that, for the record, and has. And that's it. That's their mistake was, as long as we keep Hamas propped up, we can always deal with it militarily. Except that was a major mistake, because you couldn't fucking deal with it militarily on October 7. That's number one. And number two, they did become way more interested in, instead of just simply politically dominating the Gaza Strip, doing anything and everything in their power to end the occupation, including but not limited to creating coalitions with every other faction with the exception of the Palestinian Authority, because the Palestinian Authority is a part of the Israeli security apparatus. But virtually every every faction, including former Fatah, that like not that long ago facilitated a coup d'etat against Hamas after the outcome of the election didn't go their way. So these guys are only invested in one thing and one thing only, which is the end of the occupation.
That's during peace.
Oh, are you feeling sorry? I unbanned you. I unbanned you. I unbanned you. You can say your dumb shit. This guy fucking sent Gaza wood as a link, which I suspect is a Pallywood, which I suspect is a link about Pallywood, which is, of course, one of the most insane, freakish, decrepit, Nazi things that Israel supporters do, where they not only exterminate the Palestinian population, but then they turn around and say that the Palestinians are lying about their extermination, as a matter of fact, that they're making it up, where they say it's called Pallywood. It's Pallywood. Ooh, someone typed something in chat. You just start over dramatically abusing and chat spams kick W. At this point, you should become comedian. At least you will not get as much hate. Anything else to say, dude? What a cowardly way to try and fucking defend Israel in this process. What an incredible, incredible moment. Look at this. Gaza Wood, the Pallywood saga. They sent this. They sent this link the other day. Gaza Wood, exposing the role of media manipulation in shaping anti-Israel and West narratives. These guys, we are not killing them. They are killing themselves. They're doing makeup. It is not genocide. They're doing makeup. You're a fucking Nazi, okay? That's what you are. Many anti-Israel people slowly turn anti-Semitic. What about pro-Israel people? What about those guys? What about you? Why are you doing it in the most cowardly way possible? Say it with your fucking chest. They're all babies. What happened? Why are you shy now?
Time.
Well, according to them.
Yeah. You don't understand. Arabs control the media. Literally, all of the things that the Nazis said about Jews, Israel says about Arabs, Muslims as a whole, controlling the media. Further, investigate the question further. Why did people maintain sympathy, not with Hamas, but the Palestinian people, even after October 7? Why? Especially because, like, immediately after October 7, if you were protesting for Palestinians at all, you were already very knowledgeable in the conditions of the Palestinians. You knew what was about to happen. Israel had already started its bombing campaign anyway. Well, first they started bombing their own citizens. And then once they had sufficiently bombed their own citizens, they started bombing Gaza. Actually, they started bombing Gaza even before they started bombing their own citizens. Yeah, they did. They literally immediately were like, oh, time to fucking bomb Gaza. We have one speed. There's no other way these bombs can go. And then they were like, wait a minute. We should also bomb our own citizens because there's some Hamas people there as well. So we should go and bomb the fucking kibbutz, which they did. They bombed the kibbutz. The kibbutzim, the kibbutzes. Sorry. You know, they did do that. Yeah, they did that. I remember because I covered it at the time on October 8th. Their first reaction to October 7th was to bomb Gaza. Okay? Their first reaction was to bomb Gaza. So in that process, I think a lot of people that were immediately in defense of the Palestinians either A, knew exactly what was about to happen, or B, already knew what had happened. Okay? Stop using the language of the oppressor. What are you talking about? What did I do? What did I say? JK? Okay. Yeah. Okay, but like, how insane is it that you casually chose to take the day off in the most consequential day in world history in the past 5 years? I know, it is pretty fucking insane that I took a day off to hang out with my family on October 7th. It is pretty wild. I had like I'm not a believer in like a higher power by any means. Like I don't know, but it is crazy that that was the one fucking day where I was like, after literally every single day of nonstop coverage, it was the one time where I was like, I'm gonna go hang out with my family, and then October 7th happened, and I feel like if that had happened, if I was live when October 7th was happening, oh my god, I would have fucking holy fuck. I guess not really. It's just, I mean, I was live on October 8th and people immediately started fucking clipping me out of context anyway.
He does not want to listen.
Oh my God, dude. Aren't these like the fucking anti-Me Too guys? Like, this is what also doesn't make sense. They drop all of that previously react. Do you deny October 7th? What does that even mean? Why did you ban that guy? The eye roll is going to be registered as a hate crime? Yeah, I mean, you fucking suck my dick. You know what I mean? Yes, I'm eye rolling because he's fucking lying. Okay? He's fucking lying. Yeah. Douglas Murray, much like all the fucking right-wingers, is anti-Me Too, which is a crazy position to have regardless. But immediately we'll be like, well, the rapes. So many rapes took place on October 7th. They were raping everyone on October 7th. Everyone was raped. Why does no one talk about this? Well, possibly because, one, there's no fucking tangible, hard evidence whatsoever that came out. Partially because Israel fucking destroyed the evidence. Like, they literally did that. The fuck do you mean? Zakat, the organization, straight fucking forwardly ruined all of the forensic investigations that could have taken place after October 7th. So all we got is the apartheid state's fucking horrible track record to match up against what they are saying about October 7th. One of the most documented instances of militancy and atrocity. Like, it is the most documented thing. But for some reason, we have to take the word of the guys who, one, fucked up the forensic evidence, two, refused to allow any sort of investigation to take place, and just kept repeatedly saying, you have to take our word for this. Why wouldn't you fucking take our word for this? Even though internally, inside of the prosecution in Israel, because there are victims and there are families, like there are people that want, understandably, the truth of what happened on October 7th. Israel prosecutors are like, well, there's no evidence. So I don't know what the fuck to do. No, not Zakat, Zakah, the Israeli, the Orthodox Jewish philanthropic organization. One of the major fucking funders of it, or one of the guys of Zakah, also actively lied. So many people fucking lied. So many. What is this? I was gonna let this go, but it keeps bothering me. Earlier, you said a chatter got all shy. Normally, I have no problem with you dunking on Chuz, but to compare chatter to Shy Davide is almost as bad as a... Okay, stop. Anyway, Zakah was founded by the most prolific rapist in Israeli history. I did not know that. But one of the fucking main people of one of the main guys at Zakah also lied. They lied. They were the ones who They were just like fucking making shit up. There were like 40 babies in an oven who were decapitated, and then they burned them alive. It's like none of it is true, and we know that none of it was true, but it doesn't even fucking matter. The founder of Zakat has been described as the Haredi Jeffrey Epstein. Yehuda Meshi Zahav was the Haredi Jeffrey Epstein. This is by Ynet, okay? Residents of Jerusalem's Mea Sharim neighborhood, Meshi Zahav's birthplace, say they weren't surprised to learn about his alleged mischiefs, claiming that the new accusations are just the tip of the iceberg, and the community leaders even considered castrating him once. Holy fuck. Yeah, Israel also blocked the UN from actually investigating Hamas's sexual violence. The UN is not an organization, and I can't believe I'm saying this, and Israelis will laugh at this statement, not the Israelis that are in this chat, but like anyone who's pro-Israel will laugh at me saying this, but the UN is not an anti-Semitic or anti-Israel organization, okay? The UN is as impartial as you can get. So when they wanted to conduct an independent investigation into the potential sexual crimes that took place, mass rapes that took place, and Israel said no, that was an insane moment. They were like, no, you can only talk to the police that will give you what our secondhand, third-hand accounts are, some of which was instantly discredited. That's why I fucking roll my eyes when people still 18 months in, after well-established, well-documented sexual crimes have been unearthed that Israel engaged in against the Palestinian population, I fucking roll my eyes, especially because I also know that Israel did a pro-rape January 6th. There was a pro-rape January 6th in Israel a couple months ago. Holy fuck. Bro, one of the hostages that was released, one of the Israeli hostages, went back to Israel and got fucking raped by her fitness instructor. What are we talking about? Like, it is truly a fascist society through and fucking through.
To them at all.
Like, look at this. Israel's forcing, this is a BBC article that just came out. Israel is forcing caged Palestinian hostages to perform sexual acts on each other, drink from toilets, bark like animals. Israel is systematically raping Palestinian hostages. Okay? Do you understand? This is a BBC article that just came out. What is this? Police investigate former Chief Rabbi Metzger on suspicion he molested a teenage boy. This is a firmly right-wing country, okay? A fucking firmly right-wing fascist country. It is not a mistake that these sorts of things keep happening. There are disgusting anti-Semitic Nazis that will say, oh, it's because they're Jewish. Meanwhile, look at our fucking disgusting fascist neo-Nazi country, and you will see very glaring similarities to fucking Israel as well. Look at our administration. If you can't make that comparison as a progressive person, if you can't look at America and be like, isn't it weird that we got Donald Trump as president and we got a fucking literal rapist as the defense secretary? How did that happen? You're living in it. You're living through it. So it should be evident as to how it can happen over there too. Yeah, daughter of senior public figure accuses parents of sexual abuse. Gag order on the case. Media permitted to publicize fact of complaint, but barred from sharing further details. This is another recent story. Orit Strock, Minister of Settlements, and her husband are accused of doing that to their daughter, like sexually assaulting their daughter. Yes. So do you understand why I fucking roll my eyes? Damn. Great argument, man. Thanks. Okay. Well, then I guess we can never have a conversation about anything. Your same argument you used with Andrew Tate? I know. He did the exact same fucking Andrew Tate argument, which is you can't trust anything that you read ever. You can't trust people who live in Gaza. You can't trust the videos that you see. Douglas Murray claims he doesn't talk about countries he hasn't visited. Has he been to Iran? Has he been to North Korea? Pretty sure he's written extensively about and denounced both countries over the decades. Lol. Yeah. Isn't this essentially just a woke lived experience argument? If you don't have to go see something in person to have an opinion on it, for example, I've never had gay sex. That doesn't mean I can't visualize it. I think about it constantly, etc. Then this fucking blue check mark tries to like have a debate, dude. The point is about the credibility of the opinion being posed. On one hand, you have someone who's done everything they can to experience what they're discussing. No, they haven't. They didn't go to fucking Gaza. Shut the fuck up. Was he under the hospital? Did he see? Did he see the fucking command centers? Bro, I would cook this motherfucker, dude. This Douglas Murray motherfucker. Holy shit. God damn, defenders of Israel are they have already a very difficult task. Like, you have to be the most depraved monster of all time to be able to deny the atrocities that like every average person has seen at this point. But god damn, even on top of the moral depravity, you also have to be very skillful. I don't even think you can. Like, I don't think, no matter how skillful you are, it is at this point, in spite of the billions of dollars of propaganda, Hasbara operations, damn near complete control on the issue of Israel alone, nothing else, but on the issue of Israel alone, the servile nature of our politicians, okay? It's like fucking 99% of our politicians are unconditionally pro-Israel. In spite of the media constantly either directly refusing to call out Israel when talking about its horrifying genocide and its atrocities, 53% of Americans, including like dudes over the age of 35, think that Israel is unfavorable. Think about how impossible that situation is for the likes of Douglas Murray. Because the reality of the matter is, if it was so easy to control how people feel about Israel, you wouldn't need ICE agents scanning through your fucking phone at the point of entry into this country to deny you entry into this country, which has a First Amendment principle. They're literally prosecuting people for thought crimes over here because of how indefensible it has become. It is shocking to me. It is such a done issue, dude. It is so over. If you are under the age of 35, it is goddamn Israel all the way. If you're over the age of 35, if you're a Democrat, 70% of Democrats. 70% of Democrats, dude. 70% of Democrats is over. It's done. The only thing keeping this project together is the servile, immoral, indecent nature of our politicians who are absolutely terrified of getting fucking primaried. They're pathetic, disgusting monsters. 69% of Democrats across the board are anti-Israel. How did that happen in a country that is insanely Islamophobic? In a country that's insanely Islamophobic, in a country where most news outlets that are reliable, you will not hear the accurate information on Israel. And you still got this much resentment towards the fucking apartheid state doing a genocide. It's crazy. Lil Durk made Islam cool. Yeah, that's what it is. He confirmed the letter is from his lawyer. Wait, no.